Welcome to Is It Any Good? I'm Cliff Jantz. We have our first Marvel movie of since I started this channel. We're going to be talking about Captain Marvel today. Um, let you know what my feelings on it were, what worked, what didn't work, whether or not I really think you need to see it before Endgame. This is spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to go into any major details. But let's get started. Captain Marvel starts off with Carol Danvers waking up on the Kree world. She's been living there for 6 years since her apparent death on Earth. She has been being trained on how to use her new powers that she got. She thinks that they gave to her. And from then on, she ends up crashing on Earth, and she ends up teaming up with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury, and we have the movie. What worked for me was I enjoyed Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury very much. The de-aging CGI they did on him was amazing. It looked pretty flawless in my opinion. He was it's a nice seeing a younger version of him before he becomes the guy that he is in the later movies. He still has trust in people. He's not yet head of S.H.I.E.L.D., but he played the role very well, I thought. Another one was the villain, Talos, I think that's how you say his name. He's played by Ben Mendelsohn, who seems to do his best work when he's playing a villain. I think most of his movies he is the villain, from The Dark Knight Rises to last year's Ready Player One. He does a great job with the role. They kind of give him a great backstory too as the movie develops. I mean, I think Marvel has been listening to the criticism on how their villains are being portrayed in movies, and they are doing a good job of trying to work on that, because the past few movies, the villains have been top notch in my opinion. Another thing that was amazing for me was the Stan Lee moments. They did a great tribute for him at the beginning of the movie, and then his cameo in this movie was as a kid born raised in the 90s. His cameo in this movie was probably one of the better ones for me, probably the best one for me. And then the cat, Goose the cat, had some memorable moments in this. I mean, it's not like he was a show stealer or anything, but his scenes were fairly enjoyable. What didn't quite work for me was the actual title character, Captain Marvel. They kind of wrote her to be a stoic warrior, but then at the same time, she's trying to tell jokes, and it's like the jokes don't always land with her. I don't think this is Brie Larson's fault. I think she played the character as well as she could. I just think it was the way they wrote the character. I mean, and it's nothing to where it ruins the movie for me. It was just that part of the movie was for her. It just didn't always work for me, but I think she shows that she can play this character, and I think once we get her with the other Avengers and see her start interacting, because that's what it took for Captain America and Thor, in my opinion. Once they started interacting with everybody else, they started making those characters their own. And then just the plain bad for me. These ones aren't bad for me, but I know that they're going to be bad for some other people. They changed some stuff from the comics that I know diehard Marvel fans are going to be really upset about. I'm not going to go into details of what they are, but and then this is not kind of a spoiler, but not really, because I'm not telling you how he loses his eye, but the way Nick Fury loses his eye is a complete disappointment. It might be one of the bigger disappointments of the MCU. I think maybe only being beaten by the disappointment of the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. Do I think you need to see this movie before Endgame? No, this movie does more about doing Easter eggs for stuff in past movies than it does any building towards Endgame. The mid-credit scene, I think, is a scene that's going to actually be in Endgame, kind of like they did with the Thor scene at the end of Doctor Strange. That ended up being in Thor Ragnarok. So I don't think you need to see it. I mean, I would recommend seeing this on the big screen. The special effects were really good. I did not see this in 3D, so I don't know if it needs to be seen in 3D. But I probably will end up buying this one on Blu-ray when it comes out. I mean, I bought Iron Man 3 when it came out, so... And I'm not saying that this is anywhere near as bad as Iron Man 3. I'd probably put it in the middle of the road for Marvel movies. Probably like with the first Captain America, it's a fun movie. It's enjoyable. It can be rewatched. But those are my thoughts. I may do a spoiler video on this one. I haven't decided yet. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and like and subscribe to the channel. Is it any good? And I'm Cliff Chance. Thank you.